Welcome to another episode of Ship War, my review of One Direction, This Is Us.
Shipper War. When ship happens, I'm there.
One Direction, This Is Us is a movie documentary about the UK boy band One Direction, starring Harry, Liam, Louis, Niall, and Zayn. I believe I got them all right. Yes. This movie is also directed by Morgan Spurlock, who many know him for the documentary Super Size Me, which changed fast food in the United States forever. I went into this film with a very open mind because, to be completely honest, to those One Direction fans who are probably watching this review, I am not a One Direction fan. I wasn't one when I went into the theater. I knew nothing about these guys at all, and it was very interesting going into this as a person who isn't a fan and just watching this movie as a documentary, as just a person who's a fan of films. I have to say this documentary was excellent. It was well done because it did what it had to do, and that is to tell the story of these 5 kids. It was funny. It was very endearing. As a person who, again, is not a fan of One Direction, I found myself feeling very emotional towards their journey and feeling very emotional towards their story. And at a point, I actually got teary-eyed. It was weird being in the theater, I have to say, because the majority of the people there were One Direction fans, so they were obviously fangirling out and screaming and cheering and singing along with the music that I didn't know. So it was a very interesting experience to experience with a bunch of One Direction fans while watching this movie, and I think that environment made this viewing of this documentary, I was able to see and understand, what they've accomplished as a band when it comes to their music and getting out there and bringing all these people together who also love their music. So overall, I thought this documentary was excellent. If Merlin Spurlock's, whole idea of this documentary was not only to please a fan of One Direction, but also introduce them to people like myself who knew nothing about them and actually feel some type of emotion and or put them in an endearing light, I think he did an excellent job, because the story that he put together for this documentary was excellent. The visuals in this movie were also excellent. It was in 3D. There were some certain things when they were in concert where things were popping out of the screen, and I thought it was really well done. Like, overall, the movie was a very excellent documentary. It kept my interest throughout. I actually felt like after the movie was finished, I'm like, I could have sat through that for another hour and I wouldn't have actually minded. It was that pretty entertaining. I was entertained by the movie. For those who are a fan of films, you will also find some certain cameos of certain actors and a director in the movie, which was kind of funny to see, especially when you see them at a concert for One Direction. Watch the movie and you'll see it for yourself if you choose to. So I definitely recommend this movie to anybody who's a One Direction fan. Duh, go see this movie. You probably already are planning on seeing it. And those who like very good, well documentary, if you're studying that type of field when it comes to filmmaking, definitely go check out this documentary because it was really well done. So overall, I really enjoyed this movie, and I may now go listen to some One Direction songs. So that is all for this episode of Ship Award. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Here next is a movie about a family who come together for their parents' anniversary, and then hell breaks loose in their household after a group of people come and invade the home and basically do some crazy things to this family. Now, I went into this movie thinking one thing and came out of this movie with another completely different impression. I have to say, I came out of this movie with the biggest smile on my face, and it was great.